Hello, and in this book talk, I'm going to discuss The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. And in The Hobbit, there are many characters. The main one is Bilbo Baggins, and then there's Gandalf, there's Thorin Oakenshield, another main one, and then there's 13 other dwarves, which is kind of hard to name off the top of my head. But some of them are Fili, Kili, Owen, Bolin, Bomber, Beaver, Bomber, and the ones that rhyme, they're brothers, and the ones that when you say them all together, they're all cousins. So their adventure is of them going to this mountain and killing this dragon called Smaug. And the story of how that dragon came to the mountain is Thorin Oakenshield is now king under the mountain after his father passed away. And his father and grandfather would collect gold, and they would go crazy over the power of it. But along with the gold came the consequence of the dragon Smaug coming. And Smaug killed many of his family and his clan. And so Thorin wants to avenge his family and his clan, get the gold back, and kill the dragon. He already has like this map with him, and so he already knows how to get there. He just needs a big crew and a burglar, which is where Bilbo Baggins comes in. Bilbo Baggins is a hobbit and hobbits like to keep to themselves. They live in a hole in the ground, and they like eating, sleeping, and inviting guests over, and that's about it. They're very friendly people. But when Gandalf comes along and tries to convince Bilbo to go on this adventure, at first, when they first encounter each other, Bilbo was just like, good morning, good day. But when he comes to learn that it's Gandalf, he's like, I am not going on an adventure with you. I know you, and you bring along such adventures that nobody likes. Nobody likes adventures. But Gandalf, he's calm about it, of all the things that Bilbo says. And he's very sneaky in a way of bringing Bilbo into this adventure. He puts a mark on Bilbo's door, and that's where Thorin and all the 13 dwarves come to his house unexpectedly to Bilbo. And then Gandalf comes in and they discuss this adventure. Finally, because of Bilbo's Took side, T-O-O-K, that's what motivated him, without Bilbo even knowing, motivated him to go on this adventure. And along this adventure came other smaller adventures that kind of led to the big one with Smaug. And so the smaller adventures will be like goblins and elves. One of these adventures, that's when Bilbo comes upon the ring, which brings the Lord of the Rings with Frodo, to the ring to destroy. But when Bilbo finds it, it's by chance. And when he found the person who owned it, it was also by chance. And of course he didn't show him like, hey, I have the ring. He kept it to himself. And this little battle that him and the owner went through was pretty interesting. And the battle that they went through, it was by luck that Bilbo even got away, and the circumstance that him and his crew members were in. And then the narrator also said in the book Bilbo had a lot of luck with him. So when they escape and they going to go forward with their adventure, Bilbo, you will see how Bilbo has internal conflict within himself of what to do, what not to do, is this right, is this wrong, because when he, especially after the ring, when he realizes the power of it, and he starts to think, is it right, is it wrong? Gandalf leaves for a significant amount of time, but when he comes back, it's during this primitive time where they have this fight with goblins. In this fight, Gandalf comes in and sort of saves them. Sort of. It wasn't really Gandalf, it was another creature. That's why I say sort of. So they keep going forward on this adventure, and when they finally reach the mountain, a whole bigger conflict comes upon besides them finding the dragon. And there's also this town by the mountain, which humans, and it's also like a conflict, like what should we do? And they also play a role towards the end of how the dragon was defeated. The style of the book is really, really interesting, because when I read the book a second time, I realized that the way J.R.R. Tolkien wrote, it was kind of like someone was telling the story. Someone was giving the story to someone, or to the reader when to pick up this book. So even though the style of the writing was very, very descriptive, and for someone who does not love descriptive writing, they would not sink into the book as great as it would be. Even a second or third time, whenever you just hate really long descriptive things. But I think it was a plus for it, because if the style was for a narrator, for the narrator himself to retell the story, then the descriptiveness would have to be there. And it was pretty interesting the way it would hint you that he was retelling the story, because sometimes he actually addressed the reader, and that really put a red flag on, like, oh, so he's been in the adventure himself, or he's retelling it from hearing it from someone. So I found that pretty interesting. And that's pretty much it. Plots, characters, style. If you ever want to pick up The Hobbit, I suggest you do so. I would challenge yourself and read The Hobbit first, then watch the movie. But if you want to watch the movie first and then read the book, up to you. There are tweaks in the movie that did not, I mean, it followed the plot, but it did not happen in the book. So if you want to know what kind of those tweaks are, I would read the book first and then watch the movie. And it's challenging at first, but once you watch the movie and read through it again, you sink through the story a whole lot better. That's it. The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien.